Most businesses are bleeding money because their staff members are doing tasks that could be quite easily automated. In this video, I wanted to break down how we automated 30% of a $3 million per year business within just 60 days. I also want to go through the mistakes most people make and share tips that you can take away to implement into your own business. The client we worked with had over 20 staff members who were doing everything from chasing payments, trying to onboard people, collecting data, and this basically ended up that their staff members were burning out and the actual margins of the business were shrinking. This isn't unusual, and if you're operating in a business with $1 million plus per year and still not starting to implement areas of AI into the business, you're actually throwing money away. We're in a world now where AI isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. There's no reason to not have AI within specific areas of the business to make your day-to-day life easier and inevitably increase your margins. The biggest mistake with these companies is they buy tools and tools, stack them together in hope that they're going to fix some sort of problem or automate some sort of task. The issue is they don't have any strategy and they're just trying to connect one tool to another with Zapier or Make.com and hoping for the best. The outcome of this really means there are disconnected systems, there's no real ROI, there's no actual benefit to what you've implemented because you didn't implement it into an actual process, and the staff have no use for it or don't really agree with what it's doing. That's why there was an article recently published where 90% of businesses who have tried to use AI have scrapped their project because it never worked in the first place. This wasn't because the automation didn't work, this was because they didn't build an automation to work. People get ChatGPT Plus or Perplexity Plus and think that it's going to do a massive amount of difference within the business, where in actual fact they're not building out some sort of architecture to fix a process that you have. So when we started working with this client, we did a full audit where we looked into things like where is time being wasted, how can you cut costs, and what areas are costing the business most money. After several calls going back and forth, we realized that there were some core focus areas that we needed to work on. That ended up being client intake, CRM management, scheduling, and customer follow-ups. All these problems are deep rooted within the business and can't be fixed with just adding another subscription to the stack that you currently use. And instead of just using a patchwork tool, we ended up designing a full integrated flow. That's the difference between saving 10 hours per month and 500 hours per month. You're not just putting a patch on something, you are fully automating the system from start to finish. Their onboarding before we started working together took 5 days, 3 people, and a whole load of back and forth over emails. After we saw these issues, we integrated an intake form, which connected directly to a CRM, which then gave them a call through an AI voice agent to make sure we've got the details correct. This then took the process from 5 days down to just a few hours, where now those staff members can focus on other areas of the business. Overall, we worked out this was going to save them 1,200 hours a year, which equated to almost $350,000 in payroll just for those hours saved. But more importantly, staff weren't burnt out, they didn't feel like they were doing repetitive tasks, they had AI assisting them in the whole onboarding process, which meant everything became much more efficient. On the back end of that, it also means client satisfaction was much higher, which then hopefully would improve retention rates. So here's what that means for you. Do not start implementing AI with tools. Implement AI first from an audit. Pick one high impact process, automate it properly by connecting your existing tools together and mapping out a process, and then measure the ROI for that particular process to see the impact that it had. If you're running a business doing 7 figures a year, your highest cost probably isn't marketing, it's actually inefficiencies that you haven't patched up. This essentially means you don't need to hire more staff, you need to cut staff operation times by 30% to give them the ability to do other things. Adding better systems into the business will mean your staff aren't burnt out, you've got more hours to play with, you're cutting costs, you're saving times, your operations are getting sped up, and overall things are just moving much more smoothly because you've integrated AI. If you'd love to explore how to implement AI into your business, we'd love to jump on a call and work out where we can save at least 30% in operations for your company within just 60 days.